everyone. We have a great speaker today. Her name is Samantha Javier, and she is a social media model, influencer, and brand ambassador. And I know for some of us who are in differing age brackets, we're thinking to ourselves, our kids follow these people, so we really need to know what they are. And other people are thinking, how can I do that? So I just really want this to be a great learning opportunity. She's left time for some questions and answers, but she has a wonderful message as well. And so hopefully you get something to take away today, and feel free to ask her questions during the question and answer. I'm sure she's up for all of that challenge. So she uses her platform and past experiences as a public speaker to motivate, inspire, and self-empower others, especially short girls. She strives to instill self-confidence, strength, and self-belief in themselves to pursue their goals and joys in life. So it sounds like something we all could use a little dose of. So Samantha, take it away.
Hello, everyone. I am so glad to be here. At first, I'm going to share a video, a really short video, and then from that video, it will flow into my speech. Right? Sounds good? So hopefully I can share the video successfully. Okay. Can everyone see that? Derek, can everyone see that? Okay. Now, yes. Can everyone hear this? Okay. And here we go.
Oh, we still see you now. I don't know what happened. For a minute, it was there, and now it's gone.
Oh, okay. Let me see what happens.
Ooh. Here, I could see the video.
Yeah, I could see it on my side.
Well, I could not
see it and hear it.
Now I can. So maybe it was just a me problem.
Okay, let's try this again.
You're good.
We're good. We're good. Okay.
I'm super grateful that I was born and raised in Hawaii, this beautiful place that really cherishes different cultures, giving back, and making everyone feel like family. I'm incredibly blessed that my dad also raised me with those values. My dad literally came from nothing. He grew up in poverty in the Philippines to retiring as an E7 Chief Petty Officer for the U.S. Navy. And reflecting on all the sacrifices and hardships he went through to provide for my family, I'm so humbled. Because if my father can do that so selflessly and lovingly, that's badass. Because then as his daughter born in America, I absolutely have the opportunity and capability to impact and inspire others the way that my dad inspired me. So for me, the Watch Me brand represents leading by example through action. So watch me on my journey to create a legacy.
All right, can everyone still see me, hear me? Okay, now, sorry, I had to take a moment because when I watch that video, sometimes I get kind of choked up because my dad's in it. And so the video that you just saw, it was a brand collaboration video that I did with the motivational clothing company called the Watch Me brand. Now all that confidence you see, that self-belief, that conviction, I really wasn't always like that. In fact, if you knew me back in 2010, when I first graduated high school, that today I would be a social media influencer, my honest reaction would have been like, what's an influencer? Do you guys remember back in the early 2000s, there was no such thing as social media. or even online influencers. The internet was just the internet. In fact, when you asked a kid what they wanted to be when they grow up, you got answers like singer, doctor, actress, basketball player, astronaut. But for me, I just wanted to be at least 5 feet tall, which I'm not. I'm very, very short, okay? I am 4 feet 8 inches tall. And at the time, I didn't really see how my short height was a blessing now, especially as an influencer. So I really hope today that my story can inspire you guys to be more confident in yourselves, especially during these troubling times. Now, as you heard from the video, my parents are immigrants from the Philippines. And just for reference, Filipinos tend to be very short. My mother is 4 feet 10 inches, and my dad, on a good day, is no, he's not four, he's 5 feet 3.5 inches. Okay, on a good day, guys, on a good day. Now, immigrant Filipinos, like other first generation Asian American immigrant parents, oh, that's a mouthful, they all shared the same belief that all you needed to do was work really hard to get good grades, to go to college, to get that degree, to secure a high paying job, to secure your future. For them, it was as if a college degree alone meant a better life than from what they had experienced in the Philippines. So, with that perspective, I was definitely instilled with an incredible hard work ethic. But I also shared the same belief that all you needed to do was to get that degree to get a job, and your future was set from there. So, throughout school, that's exactly what I did. By the time I was 13, I was accepted into the JSA Political Speech Summer Program at Stanford University. And I have to give a shout out to Mrs. Chong. I wasn't even her student, but she was a middle school teacher who gave me $1,000. So I was able to attend that program, which planted the seed for everything else. So thank you, Ms. Chong. Now, in high school, I also learned that you needed to do extracurriculars and AP classes in addition to good grades in order to go to college. So I did both. I was part of the varsity sports team for air rifle shooting. I was also in the color guard for the marching band, competed in mock trial, was part of the National Honor Society, and was even a dance assistant for the local middle school. I took AP classes while I maintained a 4.1 GPA and even became valedictorian of my graduating class. Good grades to get into a good college. Check. So from 2010 to 2014, I attended Linfield College, now known as Linfield University. Hey, you know Linfield, shout out to you, Erin. Okay, I attended Linfield College in McMinnville, Oregon, where according to my college advisor, I had achieved the impossible. According to my college advisor, it was impossible to double minor in 2 different countries, learning 2 different languages, while still graduating on time with your major. However, I was a really determined young freshman, so I carefully planned out for the next 4 years how I would achieve my international business major while studying abroad in Japan for 1 semester and studying abroad in China for another. And let me tell you, it was some really hard 4 years. They do not call that the impossible for nothing. But I knew I couldn't give up because growing up in Hawaii, there's so much diversity, so much influence from China and Japan that actually traveling to China and Japan was always a childhood dream of mine. And guess what? Within 4 years, I did graduate on time with my BA in International Business cum laude, double minors in Chinese and Japanese. I had even done a brief e-commerce internship in Beijing, China. I also won several awards with my speech and debate team at Linfield. According to my advisor, thank you, Erin. I had achieved the impossible and my childhood dreams. College degree, check. What's next on the list? Secure that high paying job as a fresh postgrad for my future, right? I was actually very, very wrong. During the first year after I graduated college, I had experienced my version of rock bottom, the worst year of my life, both financially, spiritually, emotionally, personally. You see, there was tension within my family at the time. I was not getting those high prestigious paying jobs like my parents had expected. Although I did have some internship experience, I lacked several years of relevant industry experience. My mom, she couldn't understand why my degree alone couldn't land me those prestigious jobs when for her generation, that's all it took. In their mindset, it was as if a college degree made me entitled to high, non entry level prestigious jobs. But times have changed since then. And having a college degree now is like a minimum standard rather than a golden ticket. Student loans, they were starting to creep in, paying bills like rent and car payments. And paying bills was something new to me, but that's adulting. At one point, I had less than $400 in my savings, but I was too stubborn to go back home to Hawaii to live with my parents. Also, as a fresh postgrad, there was this huge feeling of loneliness, no longer living on that college campus and that community of friends that you know for the past 4 years. It was really lonely. Also, I was going through a very personal, hurtful breakup at the time with my first love of my life, who was also my very first serious relationship. Sheryl Crow was not kidding when she sang that song, "The first cut is the deepest." Y'all know that song, I ain't gonna sing it, but I know you know it. Also, within that same year, I had lost two friends to suicide. One on my birthday in Hawaii, and one later back in the spring. Needless to say, I fell into a depression. I lost 10 pounds within 1 week. I could only sleep for 3 to 4 hours every night, no matter how early I slept. My health decreased. My spirit was broken. It was as if life broke me. I was hurt. My ego was so hurt. I felt like a victim of life. Within 1 year, I had never faced so much rejection, pain, and loss. How is it for the past 10 years of my life, I was able to accomplish so much and achieve so much success, but yet now it felt as if life blindsided me, as if everything I had worked towards was for nothing. I did not believe in myself anymore at that time. At times, resentment kept coming in because I knew people who worked at Nike headquarters or who worked 6-digit income earning jobs who never went to college. Meanwhile, people on social media, my friends, they were posting about all their early successes in their early corporate careers. So, how is it that now I'm failing in my own life? I kept re examining my life. Where, where did I go wrong? You know, after a lot of time and reflection, I realized I was really good at school because that's all I did my whole entire life up until that point, from kindergarten to college. That's 16 years. Usually, when you do something for 16 years, you tend to be really good at it. But that chapter of my life was over, and I'm starting back all over again, a new learning curve. And to get good, it takes time. So on September 22nd, 2015, at 3 a.m., I still couldn't sleep because of depression. I wrote a handwritten letter to myself. It's a letter that I still keep on the wall. It's 3 pages long, but don't worry, I will give you the shortened version. Dear self, do you remember in high school and college, you were so stubborn and ambitious with what you wanted that you didn't care what other people thought? Or you proved them wrong by achieving your goals and your dreams. Yes, your families and friends called you crazy, but they respected you for that. You always dreamed of winning public speaking competitions and even traveling to China and Japan, which you accomplished. Your advisor said it was impossible, but you found a way. Remember Mrs. Chong who gave you $1,000 so you could go to Stanford University? It's because she believed in you. People believe in you. You proved to yourself before that you can accomplish your success and your dreams. Now dream again and dream even bigger. Mama and Papa, they came from a third world country. You live in a first world country. That's no excuse. Be grateful for that. Anything worth something of significance is not without adversity or challenges or experiencing the lows and the mistakes. But that's okay because that's where you learn the most. That's where you grow to be stronger. The universe and God, they will not give you hurdles or obstacles you are incapable of overcoming. Be grateful, be humble, always have humility. And most of all, when you feel like giving up on yourself or have self doubt, remember the people who believe in you and the people you want to help instead. You can only really help them when you lead by example. Take care of yourself and love yourself. Also, please be patient. Life is not a contest. Don't compare yourself to others. Everyone's journey is their own, but learn from their successes. This is a promise to myself to be the best I can be. Samantha Javier, September 22nd, 2015. I have to be honest with you, ladies. It really wasn't until I began preparing for this exact speech event that those aspirations I wrote back to myself in 2015, they have actually been coming true as I became an influencer for these past several years. Now, in addition, or actually at that point after I wrote that letter, I decided to stop feeling sorry for myself and focus on what I could do to move forward. After all, this was a new chapter of my life, a start of a new learning curve. So at the time, financial survival was one of my highest priorities. So I dropped my ego and my pride, and I began working all sorts of jobs. Jobs from test market makeup products, where people called me a scammer to my face, to even working on the assembly line on the floor at the research production plant, where I was one of the only few people who spoke English while everyone else spoke Spanish and had no higher than a fifth grade education, to working as a waitress and hostess at the restaurants, to even working at the state of Oregon government PERS. And I do not regret anything from working all those jobs because through all those different jobs, those different experiences, it made me so incredibly humbled. It was also because of those experiences that it made me so determined to become financially literate and achieve financial freedom. One new concrete goal and dream since college. Now, in addition to financial freedom at the time, and because of my breakup, I really wanted to feel beautiful again, to love myself again. And for once, actually look like a young 22-year-old woman at the time instead of a teenager. When you're short like me, I constantly get mistaken for being a 14-year-old or a 16-year-old, it's something that still happens to me today. Like, I still get asked if I want the kids menu at a restaurant. Hashtag short girl problems. But anyway, I digress. So, to make myself feel better again, to love myself again, I wanted to do something fun, like a photo shoot, like America's Next Top Model, with all the studios, the lights, the hair, the makeup, the clothes. I wanted to feel confident about myself. So, as I researched online, I found a studio called Belle Boudoir, where the photographer Cheryl, she specialized in making women feel confident about themselves through highly stylized photo shoots with themes from like Marilyn Monroe to classy pinups. And she had these amazing, amazing reviews from recently divorced women or from women who just wanted to give a gift to their boyfriends. And when I did my photo shoot, like whoa, like for the first time in my life, I actually looked like a young, beautiful 22-year-old woman instead of a teenager. Like, I was so shocked and surprised. Like, I was speechless. And more importantly, I felt beautiful again. I felt confident about myself again. Now, no one knew I was doing this photo shoot. So when I showed these photos to my close family and friends, they were just shocked and surprised as I was. Like, oh my goodness. But, shocked in a good way. Some of my friends who were models in Seattle, they then encouraged me to do some social media modeling, to do some TFP modeling. And then at first I was like, no, because I did that photo shoot for me. It was for me. But then I thought, to love myself, take care of myself again, why not? This could be a fun hobby. So I did that. As a result, I started getting my health back on track, working out, getting back into breakdancing to help stay fit. I wanted to physically feel strong again. As I did more modeling, I geared my content and my posts towards body positivity and empowerment. And slowly, I gained some followers on Instagram. Then one day, one of my former coworkers, I'll call him my side hustle mentor, we got into this conversation about ambitions and goals. And then he asked me, when I showed him my social media modeling, he asked me, hey, Sam, why don't you pursue acting? There's a niche for short, petite young women like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Yeah, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Okay. As much as I do respect acting, I didn't want to pursue it because acting is playing the role of someone else rather than being myself. So then my mentor asked me, well, what makes you so different from other online models, especially when it's just photos? I paused. I knew from previous modeling competitions that I didn't have the traditional tall model looks or those exotic, gorgeous faces, which is why I usually lost those modeling competitions. But I knew I had an edge because when it came to speaking, I had the most well spoken, not cookie cutter answers when it came to the questions. So I told my mentor, public speaking. My mentor nodded and he said, okay, but what else? As a model, you don't always get to share your voice. I paused again, and then my mentor came up to my face and said, Sam, you are short. Own it. That is your advantage. Really? Really? I just rolled my eyes. I'm sure, whatever. Okay, so yeah, I rolled my eyes, shrugged it off. Now, why did I brush it off? Why did I roll my eyes? See, at the time, I didn't realize it, but subconsciously, I did not view my height as an advantage or as a gift because subconsciously, the societal narrative about being short, it wasn't empowering, it wasn't positive. Psychologically, when something is under average, it is seen as not good enough, incompetent. This applies when something is under average for sports performances, job performances, school grades, your health. This type of notion also applies to being under average height, being short. As a short person, if you don't make the minimum height requirements for something, we feel like we're not good enough. Now, except for gymnastics, short people, we are not praised for our heights. We are seen as the one who needs help to reach something on the top of the grocery shelf, or we weren't taken seriously enough. In the media, short people get portrayed as mythical elves and dwarves. Short people are the ones who get bullied and teased in school. In the media, there was not much representation of how being short was empowering, let alone positive. But it's exactly because of that lack of representation that I truly believe I could be the start of that positive representation for us short people. After all, I would like to think that the universe and God made me this oh so very, very short for a bigger purpose besides being Filipino. And so, thus, I started embracing my short height as a gift. I started to have a following as a social media model. Why not pivot and utilize it to be an influencer that I am now? Short girl power, embracing and empowering being short. I began posting on social media all my really hard workouts of doing pull ups, chin ups, obstacle courses. I wanted to represent how us short people, we can physically be strong too. I started gaining hundreds and hundreds of followers on Instagram. And I even started to become brand ambassadors for fitness companies and clothing companies, companies like the Watch Me brand, the video you saw earlier. DMs and comments were coming in about how I was inspiring short people and even little girls. However, there is one message in particular from LinkedIn that really, really it just sticks with me to my heart today. The message from LinkedIn comes from a senior consultant in the chemicals industry from Pittsburgh. His name is Bob. Bob has a granddaughter named Amanda, who, at the time, she felt so unimportant about herself because at her height of 4 feet 10 inches, she was the shortest person on her mixed gender hockey team. She felt that her height was a disadvantage. Now, Bob had seen my content on LinkedIn. He saw my post of how I was a strong, short, young woman with a positive quote, badass, end quote, attitude about life. Bob had shown my content to his granddaughter, Amanda. And so it's some positive reinforcement that Amanda received. And from seeing my LinkedIn, in her next hockey game, Amanda scored the game winning point in an overtime shootout. I was helping Amanda be confident in herself. Let me tell you, when I received that message, that was one of the most rewarding things I have experienced in my life. As an influencer, for me at least, it's really not always about how many followers you have. For me as an influencer, it's about how I'm actually positively impacting someone else's life for the better in an empowering way. For me, it's like paying it forward from my parents, how my parents worked so hard to give me a better life. Now, I want to pay it forward. Okay, so you don't have to be a child of immigrant parents or to have a short physical trait or, something physical about yourself to be confident and inspiring. Honestly, it could even be a skill that you already have. I want to share with you the story of the ornament girl, Stacy Ann Laurie. Stacy Ann is a stay-at-home mom, mother of 2 boys, and she would create these most gorgeous Christmas ornaments, like so gorgeous, so elaborate. She even tried to sell them on eBay, which in her first year landed in negative $3,000 in sales. I know, not the best, right? But it was okay at the time because her husband was the main income of the family. That was until Stacy's Ann husband got into a tragic motorcycle accident and passed away. Because Stacey Ann was a stay-at-home mom, she didn't have previous job experiences. She did not finish college. Her friends and family told her to go get a real job to support her and her two sons. But instead of listening to them, Stacey Ann doubled down. She buckled down in her passion of making those Christmas ornaments, attended Marie Forleo's B School, and transformed her skill of making Christmas ornaments into a 7-figure business called The Ornament Girl. Now, just as Stacey Ann owned and embraced her skills of making Christmas ornaments, I own and embrace my short height. It goes to show you that the challenges and adversities we face in our life, they can really reveal opportunities to make yourself stronger as people, more confident as people. You know, if I didn't face the worst year of my life, that rock bottom in 2014 and 2015, I wouldn't have had the hurt, the determination, the self-belief, and the confidence that I do now. I'm still fulfilling that promise to myself to dream bigger and to help lead by example, to help others like Bob and Amanda. To my younger self in 2015, I can proudly say back to her that in 2019, I finished paying off all my school loans. And of November 2021 this year, I will be debt free. Throughout my journey as an influencer, I've had the privilege to be part of music videos that gave academic scholarships back to kids in Tanzania, to being featured on the Two Kamai American Sisters blog, representing Asian Americans, to being on the Digital Marketing Masters podcast last November. And this journey that I'm on, this learning curve that I'm on, it's still continuing. It's still ongoing. Currently now, I have over 5,000 followers on Instagram and my other social media platforms. And ladies, I am so excited because I have the privilege and opportunity to be impacting more lives in a positive, empowering way. So for all of you here today, PWA, I really do hope that the story of the Ornament Girl, Stacey and Lori, and my story really inspired you to reflect back on your own lives, the challenges you are experiencing or will experience, the learning curves you are on, and how you can grow to be confident in yourself from overcoming them. Thank you.
That is awesome. Thank you, Samantha. What a great story. And, you know, I think there are so many little messages in there that we can all relate to.